Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and tonight we'll be doing a special review. This is on the brand new series from NECA from Nightmare on Elm Street, and this is their Series 2 with Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. So we'll start off with the Part 3, Dream Warriors, Freddy. This is a very cool figure. The detail that NECA brings on these Nightmare on Elm Street series is phenomenal. They do such a great job with the sculpts, with the articulation, and everything. Little side note, these bases are not included with the figures. These are some of my own personal ones that I order, especially for my collections, just to keep them in place better. But yeah, this one definitely has the most accessories of the new series. It comes with the little house replica that one of the psychiatric patients had built in the psych ward. And then it also comes with an alternate head. Kind of the same as the one with the Part 4 head, but there's some minor differences. So I can go over those later. But very cool figure. As you can see, he's got the chest of souls. And I like it because on these two, even though they have the same kind of torn open chest look to them, they're both different. And you won't really see what I mean until you actually get the figures and get to check them out for yourself. But this one has a lot of the little faces screaming out of it, which I think is really cool. He also comes with kind of a basic face, kind of the basic grin we've all grown accustomed to. One complaint that I had on both of these figures, as with most of the Freddy 7-inch figures from NECA, and they can't really control this, it's just, you know, packaging does it to it, but the gloves, the blades do not go straight. You have to kind of use some finesse to get them to be positioned right or to rebend them. If you heat them up a bit and then kind of hold them in a specific position for a while, it's an easy way to fix that, but the packaging itself kind of, you know, warps it, so the gloves are a little kind of like that. But other than that, the figure is in great shape. I want to say most of these Freddy figures actually have the exact same sort of basic body build as far as the legs go, articulation. They do have something new and kind of interesting on them. The ankles on these ones are... Well, you can't really see it. Let me take the base off. But the ankles on these, when you actually pull this out of the factory wrapping for this, the ankles are kind of twisted weird. And I thought it was broken at first, but these are actually more on a ball joint than the other ones that used to just kind of rotate left and right. Now, you don't get a full sort of rotation with it because the sculpt around the cuff of the leg kind of prohibits that. But yeah, if you bend it out a little better, it'll help. Now these figures, this is why I pulled out the stands for these. They're very good, but the positioning, it's very shaky, so it really helps to have the stands in place to keep them positioned properly, and then you won't rock at all. So, okay, so as far as articulation goes, you got the ankles. The waist has a bit of a ball joint on it, which I love. I love that they're doing that now, so you can actually do something other than just left and right rotation on it. But it has some sort of ball joint pivoting in the waist. The elbows bend up and down. They also rotate around a bit. The wrists are also on a ball joint. They're using a lot more ball joints, I'm noticing, since around like 2010 or so, which I like. That gives kind of a cooler sort of look to it. That's kind of a cool stance for him. His hat comes with the optional fedora, which I would like to keep on this one. The neck has the ball joint as well. And then This portion does not move, but it feels like it could easily peel off if, you know, you exposed it to heat for too long or something like that. The glove has kind of the same articulation. It just rotates at the wrist, and then at the elbow, and then at the shoulders. The shoulders also have that kind of ball joint flexibility to them. So that's really nice. And that about wraps it up for that one. He's got fairly the same sweater design as with the part 1 and 2 Freddy's that NECA released earlier this year. But I gotta admit, the 1 and 2 figures were great, but these there's no way you can top these two. These are the best, I think, from their series so far. Unless they come out with some for the other, you know, the other 4 movies. I mean, they already did the new Nightmare Freddy, and that was a great figure. A lot of people didn't like the look of that Freddy, but I liked it. I thought the cult classic one that they did of that was really cool. I wish that they would make a Super Freddy. I'm trying to remember what part that was in. I want to say it was in part 5 that they had Super Freddy. And it was just for a brief moment where he was in a comic book. But it's been a while since I watched the last few, so I'd have to go back and watch them again. But I'm going to shut up now and go on with the part 4 Freddy from the Dream Master. And this has got to be my favorite of the two. This is so fucking cool. This review is not even going to do it justice. I can humbly say that. The detail on this, the sculpting, is all fucking fantastic. The articulation is the same. Same at the ankles, waist, which is kind of cool because with the waist on this one, you can kind of have him like arc back almost as if he's yelling, like in the end, which is very cool. But this goes further than just the basic articulation. What I love about this, and this kind of ties back to the comment I had earlier about the ball joints, is that if this was, let's do a comparison. If this was a McFarlane figure, the wrist and elbow joints would just pose up and down like that. But each of these arms, with the exception of the one that's coming out of the back of his head, is all on a ball joint. So you've got a wide range of flexibility for each of these. So each one of these all has a lot of rotation to them. And the cool thing is, you can do that without feeling like it's going to break off. They feel very solid. They feel like they're definitely in place. They're not going to fall out. They do feel, some of these arms, this one in particular, actually kind of feels like it might pop out of the socket. But they're all in there really well. And I love that they actually have, like, you can still see some of the threading from his sweater kind of running through these arms as they're ripping out of him. And then what I love is that you got this little arm that's coming out of his chest, the one that kind of grabs his mouth. So you can kind of position that there. There's another one up by his head that rotates where it grabs his head. And then you got the other soul that's kind of jutting out of his shoulder right there. But yeah, the detail on this is incredible. It's so cool and so grotesque. You can see all the little muscle fragments that are kind of ripping apart. There's sort of almost a bloody tinge to this top area right here where another face is starting to rip out. You can kind of see faces on this one, here, and some hands and stuff here, but you can't see as many of the faces on this one, except for the exception of this guy on the shoulder, which is very cool looking. This little dangly bit, I don't know what that's there for. I'm guessing that's just a bit of detail that they added from the film. But this is also, it doesn't feel like it's going to break off at all, which is nice. I know there's some figures, especially with like the Soda toys and the McFarlane ones, where they'll have little tidbits that kind of hang off there and they're very fragile, but NECA, that's why NECA's my favorite. They make everything very sturdy. Especially now, they're learning a whole lot of new tips and tricks and stuff for their figures that are just they have the best fucking movie replica figures that I've ever seen. So yeah, same Little griff with the glove here. It's got the kind of bent blades on the glove, and you can't really fix that unless you heat it up, so I'll probably go back and do that later. But yeah, it's just phenomenal. It's so cool, and it's such a great piece. And I'm really glad that NECA has gone, you know, over and above a lot of the other designs that I've seen figures for the Nightmare on Elm Street series. They've done a great job trying to get some different moments from the series captured and brought to life in these little 7-inch figures. So they do not let us down at all with that. So yeah, I ended up getting these two guys through Rage Toys on Amazon.com. I buy from them a lot. If you guys have a chance to do business with them, they ship very fast, and they do a very, very good job with following through on orders, and everything comes in really good condition. So yeah, just a little plug for them. But other than that, that's about it. These guys, I got the two of them together for about $36. But I'm sure you'll be able to find these soon enough at Toys R Us, Spencer's maybe, places like that. But yeah, there are the new Freddys for you. Hope that gives you a bit of insight into the Series 2, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.